I'd like to introduce you to this concept of modern apps and legacy applications. Now, I try to use the word applications when I'm talking about full-blown applications or programs in the legacy type, and apps when I'm talking about modern apps, but not all entities, including Microsoft, are so consistent, and sometimes I slip up as well. Let's talk about legacy applications first. So legacy applications are those programs installed typically on a folder, and then there's some installation that takes place in the registry as well that contains the entire program. Now let me show you what I mean by that. I'm just going to go here to my File Explorer. If I'm in this PC, I'm going to go to the C drive, or whatever your system drive is. In my case, it's the C drive. And then Program Files and Program Files x86 are where these live. Let's click on Program Files, and you'll see my applications each under their own folder. And if I were to dig down inside one of these applications, let's see, let's take Atomi here, Active Presenter. You'll see somewhere in here an exe, or an executable file that I can run in order to run this program, and then these are all supporting files as well. And by the way, what's the difference here between Program Files and Program Files x86? Well, x86 are 32-bit programs and programs are 64-bit programs, but that's not consistent. It all depends on how the author of the software puts it. Sometimes authors will put them in program files even though they're x86, or vice versa. And you should know that any version of Windows, or I should say any architecture version of Windows, can run its own architecture and that below it. What I mean by that is, if it's a 64-bit version of Windows, it can run 64-bit applications and 32-bit applications. If it's a 32-bit version of Windows, it can run 32-bit applications and 16-bit applications. So always the one that it is and one below it. Now, modern apps are completely different. Modern apps are, first of all, here's where they exist. C, Program Files, Windows Apps. Let's open that back up again. I'm in C. I'm going to go into Program Files, and then Windows Apps down here. Let me see. Windows Apps. Here it is. And we'll open that up, and you'll see that this looks very different. First of all, it's got all these funky looking numbers in here, and you see several different folders for each individual application, or I should say app. And then when you start looking into these things, let's just open one at random here. They don't look anything like the standard applications, like the legacy applications. There's no executable file immediately noticeable here, and you can have some XML file. In fact, most of them are going to look exactly like that. Let's just open another one randomly here, and you'll see this same sort of setup. So these are designed to work across different device sizes, for example, a tablet and a desktop, and they're also more secure. They are a little harder to work with as a user because I don't have access to the same file structure as the ones we're used to. However, these are, by the way, the Windows Store apps, and they go under different kinds. So let's take a look here at what I have. These are some of them are called UWP apps, so Universal Windows Platform, or Packaged Desktop Apps, or PWAs, Progressive Web Apps. So they come from the Microsoft Store, and they run in a sandbox. That is to say, they are in an isolated environment so that they cannot affect other parts of the computer. That makes them more secure. They don't have this traditional folder and executable file structure that you're used to seeing in the old applications or in the old programs. Sometimes built-in programs in Windows 10 and up are called native apps or modern apps. and modern apps can be run across multiple device types. Now let me give you an example of one. When Edge first came out, Edge is a browser that is put out by Microsoft and packaged along with Windows. It was replacing Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is a legacy application, and Microsoft moved away from Internet Explorer and started using Edge. Edge is a UWP app. So that's the direction that Windows is going, and these built-in programs in Windows 10, such as Edge, for example, and the calculator and the clock, and some of those programs are moving more and more toward becoming this modern app style so that they're more compatible with different screen sizes and different devices that they're loaded on, as well as being more secure. So that's what this is all about, modern apps versus legacy apps.